So Tobirama is pretty interesting. He's the second Hokage of Konoha, and as such he played a big role in shaping his village and the ninja world as a whole. But despite the fact that he's the second Hokage, and the younger brother of Hashirama, and that he came from the same time period as both Hashirama and Madara, his influence on the world and shinobi culture as a whole often gets overlooked. Not to mention Kishimoto portrayed him as a closed-minded, jaded individual, and Kishimoto almost made him out to be the black sheep of the Hokage, as he doesn't really share the positive and cheerful disposition that the other Hokage do. And he comes across as a stern military leader who always makes the most pragmatic decisions, oftentimes devoid of emotion. That description of him isn't totally inaccurate, which is probably why Tobirama receives a lot of flack, as many of his actions ended up having pretty bad outcomes down the line, which has led to Tobirama being overhated and labeled a racist. So in this video, I want to defend Tobirama and explain why he doesn't deserve all of this hate. Hopefully I don't become known as the guy who defends racists. Jokes aside, when discussing why Tobirama is the way he is, we probably should start by looking at his upbringing, which was not pleasant. Tobirama grew up in what is known as the Warring States period, a time when individual clans were hired as mercenaries to participate in battle in an effort to gain land and other resources. And this was an extremely brutal era, where even children were expected to fight in wars, oftentimes leading to their death. It was so bad that the average lifespan at the time was 30 years old. And the two most powerful clans at this time were the Senju and the Uchiha. And this made it so that if one clan was hired to participate in a battle, the other clan was then hired to combat them, as they would be the only clan strong enough to do so. And because of this, the Uchiha and the Senju became mortal enemies of each other, as each clan was responsible for killing members of the opposing clan, fostering a deep hatred between the two of them. And Tobirama, being that he was from the Senju clan, was born right into this. From the time he was a child, him and his brothers participated in many battles, leading to the death of two of his brothers and many other of his clanmates at the hands of an Uchiha. Tobirama's experience with death and warfare, especially at a young age, made him to reflect on what skills and attributes were needed to be a shinobi, but it also made him yearn for peace. And with his only remaining brother becoming the head of the Senju, and Madara becoming the leader of the Uchiha, they were able to establish the first ninja village, which ushered in a more peaceful era. And one thing that people often overlook when discussing Tobirama is his want for peace. Tobirama values peace very highly, and his methods for ensuring peace are often very logical and strategic, so much so that it comes across as cold-hearted sometimes, as he's prepared to repress his emotions in order to do what is best. And he showcases this line of thinking as a child shortly after the death of his brother Kawurama. He stated that ninjas should not seek revenge for the death of their fallen comrades if they are to achieve peace, as doing so fuels an everlasting cycle of hatred, and that the best way to achieve peace is by setting aside one's grievances and adhering to rules and regulations to avoid conflict. And he took this mentality to adulthood. The biggest criticism thrown at Tobirama is that he hates the Uchiha. And I know I said that I was going to defend Tobirama in this video, but I'm not going to defend him for this, because in all honesty, I think it's justified. Jokes aside, I don't actually think that Tobirama hates the Uchiha clan, but I think he does have a personal bias against them, which makes sense as they are responsible for the death of many of his clansmen and his brothers. But like I pointed out earlier, Tobirama is a very logical individual and has analyzed the Uchiha through his countless interactions and encounters with them. So his bias doesn't come from a place of hate. It comes from the patterns that he has observed countless times when dealing with them, which is why he was able to explain to Sasuke that the Uchiha clan feels love deeper than any other clan. When they lose this love as the result of a death of a loved one, it is then replaced by hate, a stronger hate. So as a result of this, Tobirama was very calculated with how he dealt with the Uchiha after the death of his brother, which is why he marginalized the clan so that they could be dealt with if they became a threat. However, by doing this, he ostracized the clan, which ultimately pushed them to plan a coup d'etat. However, I would argue that more of the blame falls on Hiruzen, but that's another discussion. Tobirama's intentions were to ensure the safety and protection of the village, and he set up many programs to do this, which he isn't given credit for, even though all of these programs are still in place even up until Boruto, meaning that clearly they were effective. He started the police force, which he gave to the Uchiha, which, okay, that one's a little iffy. But he also started the academy to train young ninja, the Anbu, and the Chunin exams. As a Kage, Tobirama was the most influential in building up the village's infrastructure, as other villages went on to copy these practices. So clearly he was a competent leader. On top of that, Tobirama is responsible for making some of the most useful ninjutsu, like the Shadow Clone Jutsu, or the Flying Raijin Jutsu, or even Edo Tensei. All of these jutsu are extremely useful, and we have Tobirama to thank for that. So yeah, all in all, Tobirama is a pretty goated individual, and I think he gets a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. And I think most of the hate belongs to this guy. His contributions to the village and the ninja world are not highlighted enough, and that really is a shame, as bro was a pretty incredible individual. But with all that being said, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications. With that being said, it's the boy who cried Super Saiyan, out. Bye.